Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. I hope your day and your week are going very well so far. College football week 9 is officially here, and I have a ton of great picks to go ahead and share with you guys. But first, as always, people, please make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. Helps the channel grow, and it really does mean a ton to us. With a new week comes a new opportunity to go ahead and make some money. I have 12, count that, 10, 12 college football picks to go ahead and share with you guys in this week's slate. But first, before we dive into this week's picks, quick little recap of how we did last week. And overall, guys, not good, not great. We went 6-6 last week on our college football plays. Like I said, not very good, but not very bad. 500, not bad. 6-6. We're now 42-50-2 overall in the season. A couple bad weeks really tanked our record. But if you watch the videos the last couple weeks, we've been trending in the right direction. A couple of solid weeks. We've been 500 or better each of the last 3 weeks. And I'm feeling pretty good about the board this week. So coming off a 6-6 performance, let's go ahead and build upon that and do even better this week. We got 12 college football picks coming your way. But first, guys, special shout out to Pretty Girl Randy, who won the Bulldog giveaway last week. I've been doing giveaways like these all season long, where basically if I give you my favorite pick of the day, and if it wins, I go ahead and pick one winner to win a free Amazon gift card. Last week, I loved Georgia last week against Texas. I was too much of a wuss to take him on the money line. I took him on the points there at plus 5.5. It was too many points to give Kirby Smart. Good win for the Bulldogs there. Pretty Girl Randy, congratulations. You win a free Amazon gift card. We'll be in touch to go ahead and get you that prize. Make sure to watch through the entire video, guys. Like I said, every single week I do at least one of my picks. I do a free Amazon gift card giveaway. I won't tell you which one. You have to watch through the video and figure out which one that is exactly. But all you got to do is comment the pick down below. And if it hits, pick one lucky winner to win a free Amazon gift card. Guys, enough talking, enough jib-jabbering here. I don't know what jib-jabbering, if that's even a word. But we got college football picks to get to. Let's go ahead and dive into this week's picks. Wasting no time at all, guys. Jumping right into the outlier screen. Our first match we're looking at is Friday night, Boise State at UNLV, 10:30 p.m. kickoff on Friday night. We're going with Boise State here, minus 2.5 on the spread. It is a little juiced here. We bought about a half a point or a point to go ahead and make this a little bit easier to stomach. But I think Boise State should definitely win this game. They've been a cover machine so far this year. Specifically at this minus 2.5 point line, we've seen only one game against Oregon. Oregon was the only game so far this year where they did not cover by at least 2.5 points. Overall, they're 3-2-1 against the spread so far this year. But again, overall, at this minus 2.5 point line, they are right now sitting comfortably at 5-1. And look at the insights provided by Outlier. The Boise State Broncos are 7-2-1, 70% hit rate against the spread in their last 10 games as a favorite. Pretty solid data to go ahead and back us up there. This is going to be a close one here, but I do think Boise State is just slightly the better team in this matchup. UNLV, their strength right now is their run defense. It's actually a top 10 run defense in all of college football so far this year, which obviously, looking at Boise State, we know what their rushing offense is, the second best rushing offense in college football. Look, you're not going to stop Boise State's rushing attack. You can only hope to slow it down. UNLV has a defense that could possibly slow it down. But what are we talking about when we say slow it down? I mean, Boise State, they're averaging almost 300 yards per game on the ground. If they rush for 175, which is slowing them down, 175 yards on the ground is still pretty damn solid. And even if they go ahead and slow Boise State's rushing attack down, their pass defense, UNLV's, is horrific. 127th right now in college football. Boise State, top 70 passing attack in the nation. Not really known for their passing attack, but they can throw the football if need be. On the flip side of things, UNLV's offense, their strength is in their running game. They are also a really solid run team themselves. But Boise State's defensive strength is in their run defense. So pretty solid numbers there. And again, their Boise State's weakness is in their pass defense. But guess what? UNLV, their weakness in offense is their passing attack. Overall, I think it's just a pretty solid matchup here for Boise State. Buy the point down, get to minus 2.5. A little juiced. Obviously, going to cost you a little bit more, but I think it's a smarter play here. Take Boise State at minus 2.5. All right, guys, next up, our second pick in this week's slate. I guess I just didn't learn my lesson from last week. We're going to Nebraska here against Ohio State. 12 p.m. kickoff on Saturday. Going with Nebraska here, plus 25.5 on the spread. Look, obviously, last week I took Nebraska plus 7 against Indiana. I was pretty confident, and I got absolutely shit on in that one. That being said, though, I do really like Nebraska to go ahead and cover here. Again, Ohio State's going to win this game. I'm not saying Nebraska's going to win. I'm not going to say they're even going to keep it relatively close. Ohio State should win this game in the vicinity of around 3 touchdowns. But we're taking Nebraska here at plus 25.5. It's a lot of points, and this Ohio State team, I just don't trust them to cover that big of a point spread. There's also just kind of the law of sports betting. Nebraska, they got blown out 56-7 against Indiana last week. Now they're coming in on the road against Ohio State. Everybody and their mother right now is going to be fading Nebraska in this matchup, and for good reason. They were horrible last week, but it can't get any worse than it was last week. And if this pick hits, you're going to go ahead and clip that as a really bad highlight moment for me. But I truly do think Nebraska has enough talent to at least hang around here. I think that Matt Rule is too good of a coach to go ahead and get blown out like that in back-to-back games. And Ohio State, I have questions about. The last time we saw them, obviously, was that big loss against Oregon. They played well enough in that game to at least hang around, but pretty disappointing loss. I do think the Nebraska defense is good enough, again, to keep themselves within this number. I'm not saying Ohio State's going to lose. I'm not saying they're even going to struggle in this game. Ohio State should win this game by 20 points at least, but I think Nebraska could keep this within 4 touchdowns. I don't think Ohio State kills them like that. I do think the Nebraska team is too good for that. Is it a risky play? Absolutely, but look at Nebraska so far this season. I mean, there's not a lot of data to indicate they're the team that get blown out like that. Yes, the Indiana loss is obviously the one that comes to mind here. They're getting killed last week. But again, besides that one, even some of the tougher games they played, like against Illinois, which is obviously a ranked team, a game that Nebraska lost, that game was relatively close. Again, they covered the plus 25.5. Obviously, they were favored in a lot of these games. But the only game that's kind of comparable to Ohio State is the Indiana and the Illinois game. And Illinois, top 25 ranked team, it's only a 7-point game. So I think Nebraska, again, we're not asking them to win. We're not asking them to keep it too close. Just keep within 4 touchdowns, and we'll be good to go. Plus 25.5. I'll take the chance there. All right, guys, next up, our third play in today's slate. We have my Notre Dame Fighting Irish facing off with a really solid Navy team. 12 p.m. kickoff on Saturday. I'm going Notre Dame here, minus 12.5. Now, look, I know what everybody's going to go ahead and say for this one. Navy has been so impressive. They're so good. Notre Dame, this is going to be a really tough test for them on the road. This is probably the best Navy team in the program's history, at least in the last 45, 50 years. But I'm telling you guys, Navy has not faced anybody remotely close to the quality of an opponent that Notre Dame is. Looking at Navy's schedule so far this year, it's pretty unimpressive. Bucknell, Temple, Memphis, UAB, Air Force, Charlotte. Just a lot of bad teams that they've gone ahead to play. Their toughest matchup, I guess you guys say Memphis, which is a good win, but, 56-44, a big shootout game versus Memphis there, which Notre Dame, if they were matched up with Memphis, Notre Dame would be like a 25, 28-point favorite in that one. Look, give credit where credit's due. They're winning these games. They're taking care of business. It is what it is, but now you're playing the toughest team you played all season long, and I know you're at home, so you have that advantage to you, but Notre Dame right now, take away the Northern Illinois loss. Take that one out of there. The rest of the season has been a home run season for Notre Dame. They played very well, including that week 1 opening win versus Texas A&M. Some really nice wins on the schedule there for Notre Dame. Really, it's just the Northern Illinois loss that really screwed up their season, their trajectory there. But again, they need to make the college football playoff. There is no conference championship coming for Notre Dame, so they need to win these games. They need to win them convincingly here. I think they can go ahead and do it. This is the toughest defense that Navy has played so far this year, by far. Like I said, it's misleading. Like, you see Navy's numbers here. They're top 5 scoring offense in college football. But again, look at who they're playing. There's a lot of, if Notre Dame had this schedule, and Notre Dame hasn't had the toughest schedule of all time, a couple ranked games here and there. But if Notre Dame had this exact same schedule, Notre Dame would probably be in top, and Notre Dame already is, a decent scoring team. They'd be top 5 in offense as well. I just think it's going to be way too much of a jump in competition for Navy to go ahead and take on. And their passing defense is pretty bad. I mean, that's the offense for Navy, 125th in passing yards. Doesn't fare very well versus Notre Dame's 13th ranked passing defense. And yeah, Navy's strength is in the run game, top 5 running game in college football, but Notre Dame top 30 rushing defense in college football right now. On the flip side, I just don't see Navy's defense being much of a threat here. Look at Notre Dame, top 20 rushing team in the nation. Navy 94th against the run. With as bad a schedule as they have, this Navy defense is 81st in passing and 94th in rushing with the defense that they currently have. I mean, with the schedule, they've currently faced. Tied for 30th in scoring, though, not giving up a ton of points. Irregardless, the moral of the story being Notre Dame, I just think, is such a massive jump up in competition. I don't think, even though Navy's at home and theirs is a solid team, without a doubt, there's a good team. I think Notre Dame is far and away the better one. Give me Notre Dame here, minus 12.5. Also, the insights provided by Outlier. The Notre Dame Fighting Irish are 8-2, 80% hit rate against the spread in their last 10 games, dating back to last season. So, really good numbers here for Notre Dame here. I love the spot for the Irish. All right, guys, next up we got Washington at Indiana, 12 p.m. kickoff on Saturday. I'm going with the Huskies here, plus 7.5 against Indiana. Not only did I take Nebraska again this week, but I also am fading Indiana for the second week in a row. Last week, they made me look like fools. Would they do it again? Personally, I don't think so. I think Washington will go ahead and cover here, plus 7.5. Look, Indiana, obviously a really impressive win last week versus Nebraska, 56-7. There is no doubt about that. And realistically, the only reason why this spread is where it's at is because of injuries to Indiana. They're without their starting quarterback in this matchup, which is why this is even as close as it is in terms of spread. Coming off that win last week, obviously you would expect Indiana to be a much bigger favorite here. I said it last week, and it still rings true. This Indiana team is not the most battle-tested in college football. Look at now, again, undefeated, not as bad as Navy's schedule, but, you know, obviously they have the Nebraska win, they beat UCLA, they beat Northwestern, a couple okay wins there, but overall, not that tough of a schedule. Now, on the flip side, the Huskies are 4-3 overall. They've had a little bit of a rough season in the win-loss department, but their schedule, a lot tougher. I mean, you played Iowa, Michigan, Rutgers, Northwestern, some similar opponents in there. But this Washington team is much more battle-tested. They've had some tough losses there for sure. But I think especially with Indiana being without their starting quarterback, this is a really good spot to at least cover. I'm not saying Washington's going to win the game, but plus 7.5, keeping this within a touchdown seems very reasonable for Washington here. Washington's offense has been a little bit of a mess this year. 92nd scoring offense in college football, not very good, but they actually are a top 20 passing team in the nation. In Indiana, this defense obviously really, really good, but they're one area where if you want to call it a weakness, I say the weaker point of their defense is their pass defense. 24th right now in pass defense, 180.7 passing yards per game. Still really good numbers, but if you're looking at for a weaker part of their defense, that's the weakest area is their secondary, their passing defense. So a potential area that Washington could go ahead and take advantage of, and again, it's not like a great matchup, but again, slight advantage for Washington there. But on the defensive side, Washington, really solid defense. The #1 pass defense in college football right now, which obviously is really important because Indiana does a lot of their damage through the air. With a backup quarterback in and facing this Washington defense, it's going to be a really hard time for Indiana to go ahead and move the ball through the air. Now, Washington's run defense is not so good, so they could go ahead and take advantage of that matchup. But overall, this is a top 20 defense in the nation for the Washington Huskies. Pretty solid overall. Again, we're not looking for much. We're not looking for a win here. Just keep the game within a touchdown with the backup quarterback in. I know Indiana playing really well, but I think Washington is a good enough team to at least keep this within a touchdown. So give me Washington here plus 7.5. All right, guys, next up we got Ole Miss, Oklahoma, 12 p.m. kickoff on Saturday. I'm going with the Rebels here, minus 18.5 points. Ole Miss now at this point, they just have to win out. If they have any prayer of making the college football playoff, which is very slim at this point, if you ask my opinion, I think they're probably looking on the outside for the college football playoff, but they still have a chance. They have to win out, and this game in particular is very, very important. They have some tougher games coming up ahead in the coming weeks, so they need to take advantage of an Oklahoma team that's, let's just be honest, is just not very good this year. Not only does Ole Miss need to win this game, they need to win it pretty convincingly. They're at that point now where style points are going to come into play here with the committee. That LSU loss is definitely going to haunt them all season long as well. They now have a 2-loss team, 2 SEC losses against LSU and Kentucky, some really unfortunate losses. But Ole Miss is coming off the bye week, an extra week to go ahead and sit and rest with that LSU loss to go ahead and prepare for this one coming back home after 2 road games there. Hosting an Oklahoma team that's coming off a pretty embarrassing loss to South Carolina last week. Back-to-back embarrassing losses, actually. They got blown up by Texas, blown out by South Carolina, and have to go on the road at Ole Miss with no break there. Tough spot here for Oklahoma. This team's just not very good. I think Ole Miss, this team's obviously they're pissed off. They had big aspirations this year. A couple of really tough losses. That LSU game, we had Ole Miss. The LSU game was theirs, and they choked it away. Again, they're not completely dead, but they have to win out, and they have to go ahead and take advantage of these matchups. Just to look at the comparison here versus common opponents here, Ole Miss crushed South Carolina 27-3 just a few weeks ago, and South Carolina last week crushed Oklahoma 35-9. So that's just a record versus common opponent, just to go ahead and show you guys what that looks like. But yeah, overall, I just think Ole Miss is still a top 10 scoring offense. I know the offense the last couple weeks has sputtered at times, but overall still a solid offense. This Oklahoma defense leaves a lot to be desired. This is the 4th best passing attack in college football against the 64th passing defense in college football. And Oklahoma's offense, let's not even get into it. 107th in scoring, really, really bad. And I know Ole Miss's defense has not been great. And second scoring defense, at times, you can take advantage, especially their passing defense. You can take advantage of it at times. This is not the offense to go ahead and do that. Oklahoma's a disaster this year. It is what it is. I mean, first year, new conference. They just don't have the talent to keep up right now. That'll obviously change in the coming years. But right now, Ole Miss is the play here. Minus 18.5. They got to win. They got to win big. I think they'll go ahead and take care of business. Jackson Dart's too good of a quarterback to go down like this. All right, guys, moving on a little later in the afternoon here. We got Illinois at Oregon. Really solid ranked matchup here at 3:30 p.m. kickoff on Saturday. I'm not taking a side here because, honestly, the spread concerns me here. Oregon's a 21-point favorite. Illinois, I could see them hanging around in this game. But what I'm going with here is the under at 55. Why do I like the under? It's very simple. You have an Illinois offense that, honestly, this year has just not been that impressive. Tied for 62nd right now in scoring, averaging 29.6 points per game this year. This Oregon defense obviously is top 15 right now defensive in the nation. So it's a solid Oregon defense against an average to below average Illinois offense. But on the flip side, though, Illinois top 25 scoring defense in the nation, top 50 against the pass. Their run defense leaves a little to be desired, but to be fair, Oregon's rushing attack, not great. Both of these teams' defenses don't give up a lot of big plays. That goes for Illinois as well as Oregon here. So that includes on the ground as well. Two solid defenses. Again, Oregon's offense has the potential to go ahead and pour it on, but Illinois certainly does. I think this is a low scoring, maybe a little tighter than we expect game. I don't want to take Illinois in the point just because I could see Oregon maybe late game taking care of business. A close one for sure. A close call, I should say, for sure. But I think the under is a good play. I just don't see Illinois scoring enough points to add to this over. And then on the Oregon side, yeah, even if Oregon covers a 21-point spread, I can't foresee Oregon scoring more than 30 points. So give me the under here at 55. All right, guys, real quick before we dive into the rest of this week's picks, a quick word from our sponsor over at DraftKings. That's right, guys. Guy Boston Sports and DraftKings Sportsbooks are partnering to bring you guys this very special offer. It's incredibly simple, guys. As a new customer, use the link down below in the description. Bet $5, get $200 instantly in bonus bets. It's that simple. It's free money. All you got to do is bet $5 as a new customer using that link down below in the description. You get $200 instantly in bonus bets. College football is here. NFL is in full swing with both of those sports. We're now more halfway, college football in particular, more than halfway through the season. NBA is starting. You got World Series coming up. So much to bet on right now, guys. You're going to go ahead and take advantage of that offer. $200 free instantly in bonus bets. You can't go ahead and beat it. And all you got to do is bet $5 as a new customer. It's very simple, very easy. And you're going to want those bonus bets with all the sports coming up. We have the Sports Equinox on October 28th. You got all 4 of the major sports going on: hockey, baseball, basketball, football. So much sports going on right now, guys. You don't want to go ahead and miss this offer. So go ahead and take advantage. Use the link down below in the description. Bet $5 as a new customer. Get $200 instantly in bonus bets. Special thank you to DraftKings for partnering us for today's video. Now, let's get back to today's picks. All right, guys, next up, we got BYU at UCF, 3:30 p.m. kickoff on Saturday. And it's a tough one, guys. It's a very tough one. I was kind of making a game time decision here with the pick. It's coin flip for me, but I'm going to go ahead and stick with UCF on the money line here. Minus 126 on FanDuel, minus 130 on DraftKings, and also available on other sports books as well for varying odds. This just feels, and I could be completely wrong here, and if I am, I am. It is what it is. I think this is the ultimate trap line. It feels like such a trap line here. BYU, they're ranked number 11 in the country right now, undefeated. They just keep proving people wrong, including myself. I bet against them multiple times this year. Keep proving people wrong each and every week, and they're an underdog on the road against a UCF team that's been pretty disappointing. Just smells like a rat line to me. I have to be honest. I just don't understand why BYU is an underdog in this matchup. It just feels like the sports books want the public to go ahead and hammer BYU, and of course the public is. The public money is all over BYU in this one. I'm gonna go ahead and fade that. I'm gonna go UCF money line here. They are at home in the Bounce House. Kind of a tough place to play. BYU kind of got exposed a little bit last week. Playing Oklahoma State, they lost 38-35. BYU won 38-35 in the matchup, but it was kind of a tight walk-off win. It looked like they were doomed in that game. They did end up pulling away and getting that win late on a walk-off touchdown, but I think BYU showed some weaknesses there, and I know UCF, like I said, they haven't been playing particularly great this year, but they did make a quarterback change, and it did look like it proved a little bit better last week. Yes, UCF still lost against Iowa State last week, but with the new quarterback in, they played pretty well. 38-35 was a tight game against a Big 12 opponent in Iowa State. They played pretty tough, and he's a mobile quarterback, which BYU can sometimes struggle with here. From a statistical standpoint, I think UCF's rushing attack could give BYU's defense some real problems. BYU's 64th in the nation running defense. UCF, the 3rd best rushing offense in college football. Now they have a mobile quarterback too. I just think UCF is in a really good spot to go ahead and maybe take advantage of a BYU team that got exposed a little bit last week. So I'll fade the public. I'll fade the rat line. Give me UCF here, minus 126 on the money line. All right, guys, next up we got Missouri at Alabama, one of the best games in this weekend slate without a doubt. Going Missouri Tigers here, plus 18.5 on the road in Tuscaloosa. I just don't trust Alabama to go ahead and cover this big spot. Look, Missouri, obviously kind of a disappointment. After a really strong start, we had really high hopes for them. The last few weeks has been kind of disappointing. Obviously, they got blown up by Texas A&M. They did beat Auburn, but they narrowly escaped that Auburn Tigers team. It was a really close matchup. I think we all can just accept now that Missouri, they're just not as good as they were a year ago. They're still a solid team, still top 25 ranked. They're right now ranked number 21 in the country, but I think we can all agree this Missouri team a little disappointing this year. However, so is in Alabama. It's been a rough couple weeks for Bama. They lost, after beating Georgia, they were flying high, and then they lose to Vanderbilt, struggle with South Carolina, and then lose to Tennessee. Really rough run there for Alabama. They have not covered this minus 18.5 point spread in 4 straight weeks. Ultimately, I know Missouri's not a great team, and they have been blown out by Texas A&M. They've been blown out before, so we know it's capable. They're capable of allowing it, but I just don't think Alabama right now is good enough to cover this kind of spread. I really just don't see it. Missouri hasn't had the toughest schedule, but they do have a couple of games there. They played Vanderbilt, they played A&M, they played Auburn. They have a couple games now. You can go ahead and say Missouri's played somebody. Obviously, they have not had anywhere near the schedule that Alabama has had. But Missouri, top 10 scoring defense in the nation. They're top 10 against the pass. They are top 35 against the run. Again, they haven't played offense quite like Alabama's yet, but, this is a solid defense, and offensively, which is surprising. This has been the surprising thing all season long with them, is their offense has been kind of disappointing. But this Alabama defense, and this is a big thing with Nick Saban leaving, obviously Kalen DeBoer taking over. This Bama defense does not look like a Nick Saban defense at all. Still not terrible in terms of numbers, but definitely not trustworthy like the old St. Nick defenses were for the Crimson Tide. I think this game's going to be a lot closer than that. I still think Alabama wins. The must-win spot for them. I think they will take care of business at home, but this 18.5 point spread, just way too much. There's also a really weird line movement here, which is why when I took Missouri, Alabama was like minus 13.5 in this one just a couple days ago or a day ago, and the line massively jumped in Missouri's favor so people are hammering Alabama in this one. Now the line's moved up to 18.5. I'll go ahead and hammer that. I just don't see Alabama covering this spread. Again, they haven't done it in 4 straight weeks, including against teams like Vanderbilt and South Carolina, as well as against Georgia and Tennessee. The only teams they successfully covered this big point spread against was on teams like Western Kentucky, USF, and Wisconsin. And one last piece of information, guys here. The Missouri Tigers are 13-5, 72.2% hit rate against the spread in their last 18 games dating back to last year. So overall, and we're going to go ahead and look at that real quick if you guys would like to take a look here. Missouri's been covering the spread pretty consistently. And this plus 18.5 line, this actually says plus 16.5. We have it at plus 18.5 for the Alabama game, but they've actually covered plus 16.5 in 17 of the last 18 games. The only game in the last 18 games where they've been blown out by more than this was against A&M just a few weeks ago. But besides that, and going back to last year, and again, that was last year's team, but Georgia, Tennessee, Florida, Ohio State, some good opponents there, and they kept those games relatively close. So Missouri, they've been blown out once in the last 2 seasons. I just don't see Alabama being good enough to do that. So give me Missouri here, plus 18.5. Next up, guys, we got Texas at Vanderbilt, 4:15 p.m. kickoff on Saturday. Give me the Longhorns here, minus 16.5 on the spread. Guys, I think this is great value on Texas. This line probably, if they don't lose to Georgia last week, Texas is probably favored by like 24, 25, 26, maybe even higher, maybe closer to 30 points in this matchup. And give credit to where credit is due. Vanderbilt's had a very impressive year. Obviously, that win against Alabama was their big claim to fame. And Vanderbilt's covered this spread of plus 16.5 in the majority of their games this season. Actually, if we go to this 2024, they've covered this plus 16.5 point spread in all of their games so far this year. They're not getting blown out this year. One thing to note, though, and although they've kept these games kind of close, you see some of the opponents they've had have been pretty shaky. Missouri, we just talked about, kind of a shaky team this year. Alabama, definitely a shaky team this year. Besides those 2 games, the rest of their games, Ball State, Georgia State, Virginia Tech, not the toughest schedule of all time. I just think Texas, that loss to Georgia was tough, but I think Georgia's just a really good team. Those are 2 powerhouse programs. I think Texas got kind of hit in the face. I don't think they were prepared for a matchup like that. They hadn't been challenged like that all year long, and then Georgia comes in and they absolutely demolished them there. Georgia's a tough team, but I think Vanderbilt, the difference between Georgia and Vanderbilt, in my opinion, let's get that out of there. The difference between Georgia and Vanderbilt is very different. It's night and day. The Longhorns are 8-3, 72.7% hit rate against the spread in their last 11 games as a favorite. I just think Texas, yeah, they lost last week, but they're still, in my opinion, the best team in the country. I would still probably take Texas over Oregon. I know Oregon's ranked number 1. Texas fell down the rankings after the loss. I still think Texas is probably the best team in college football right now. It's close, but I would maybe take them just slightly over Oregon there. And this defense is so good. I just don't know where Vanderbilt's going to go ahead and score points to keep this one close. And again, Texas, they're going to be pissed off. I think this is a great value. Like I said, this spread would probably be closer to 30 points had they not lost to Georgia last week. Texas is still that same team from a couple weeks ago. I think Texas rolls here. Give me them minus 16.5. Just a few picks left here, guys. Next up, we got Florida State, Miami, 7 p.m. kickoff on Saturday. We're going with the Hurricanes here, minus 20.5. Come on. This is just... You see Florida State, you bet against Florida State. It's very simple. This Seminoles team, I mean, you can keep, and it's funny that the sports books, I mean, this line I think should even be higher than what it currently is. They still value Florida State as if they're still like, hey, they could still turn the corner. It's time to just admit it. This team's not good. And I think last week versus Duke was kind of the last chance, like, hey, we can still, they lost on the road at Duke, really embarrassing. Now, to be fair, they actually haven't been blown out this bad in a lot of their games. They've covered this plus 20.5 in most of their games this year, minus except, actually, surprisingly, the SMU game. SMU was their worst loss of the season so far. But Miami's offense is a different breed, and I just don't know if Florida State's defense will be able to keep up with it. Miami's second right now in the nation in scoring, the #1 passing offense, in college football. Florida State 40th ranked passing defense. The other thing, though, to keep in mind is that Miami's offense 38th in rushing, 188.9 rushing yards per game. Florida State's defense tied for 103rd against the run. 76th scoring defense in college football. Florida State defensively will not be able to keep up with Cam Ward and Miami in this game. First and first downs, first and third down conversion, first in yards per play. Florida State tied for 69th in yards, 69th in yards per play. And then on the flip side, this Florida State offense is just, it's abysmal. And they made the switch to Brock Glenn. It hasn't really gotten much better. They've played closer. I mean, but 16 points, 13 points. I mean, it just has not been great for Florida State. This team is a disaster this year. And their offense tied 132nd in scoring right now. Miami, not a great defense, but they're good enough here. 8th against the run, just 62nd against the pass. But they're good enough to at least hold Florida State down, and they have enough offense to go ahead and pour it on. Give me Miami here, minus 20.5. All right, my second to last pick in this week's slate. We have a really good rivalry matchup here. Michigan State at Michigan, 7:30 p.m. kickoff on Saturday. This is my pick of the week, guys. I'm going Michigan State here, plus 5.5. So like I mentioned earlier in the video, this is our giveaway pick here. So go ahead and comment Spartan down below. And if this pick covers, one lucky commenter will be selected to win a free $20 Amazon gift card. If you missed out last week, this could be your opportunity to go ahead and win some free money. Comment Spartan down below. And if the pick hits plus 5.5, one of those lucky commenters will be selected to win a free $20 Amazon gift card. All right, so Michigan State plus 5.5 here. This is just really fading Michigan at this point. Again, like Florida State, this Michigan team has been a disaster this season. And you can go ahead and see for yourself. Michigan minus 5.5 this year. They've only covered it in 2 of their games this year versus Fresno State, the first game of the season, and versus Arkansas State. The 2 weakest games on their schedule were the 2 times they actually covered this minus 5.5 point line. This team has been awful, and then when they have managed to win, they win in these really tight battles. This Michigan offense is absolutely abysmal. 112th in scoring, 130th in passing yards. They have a little bit of success still on the ground with Blake Corum, but overall, not good. Blake Corum is not currently at Michigan. I apologize. Guys, recording is a little late at night. Blake Corum no longer at Michigan, currently an LA Ram. Donovan Edwards is who I meant to go ahead and say. Donovan Edwards in this rushing tech, still top 50 in the nation. Not terrible, but not very good. Not like they were a year ago. And they just don't have a quarterback who can play right now, and it shows in the passing attack. And Michigan State, we know their defense is really solid, 31st against the pass, tied for 39th overall in scoring. I know the numbers don't look fantastic, but that's also part of who they've played. Michigan State's had a brutal schedule. Oregon, Ohio State, Iowa in 3 straight games. They've also played Boston College, who's not an easy play this year. They've been on a brutal run. Now they go into this Michigan game. I think their numbers are, they're just kind of, they're skewed because they played some really high-powered offenses like Oregon, like Ohio State there. But this defense is the real deal, and this Michigan offense is so bad. On the flip side, Michigan State's offense themselves has been pretty darn bad, but Michigan's defense, they're okay. Again, I'm not saying Michigan State's going to necessarily win the game outright. I don't think they're going to be able to score a lot of points. They haven't been able to score many points this year. Look at the last few matchups for Michigan State. They did go ahead and score 32, and they beat Iowa last week. Really impressive win last week for Michigan State, but 10 points versus Oregon, 7 points versus Ohio State. They hadn't really been scoring too many points prior to last week's big win against Iowa. But again, we don't really need them to score a ton of points. Just keep the game close, plus 5.5. With how good Michigan State's defense is, how bad Michigan's offense is, I just don't see how Michigan wins this game by more than 6 points. I really just don't see it. This is going to be a field goal game in my opinion. Really tight matchup here. And Michigan State, a little extra motivation. Last year, Michigan obviously crushed them 49-0 on their home turf. You know the Spartans are going to come into this one extra motivated to go ahead and stick it to Michigan. Sprinkle the money line if you'd like. I think it's not a bad play, but Michigan State plus 5.5 is my favorite play of the week. So comment Spartan down below, and if it covers, one lucky commenter will win a free $20 Amazon gift card. All right, on our 12th and final pick from this week's slate, we have LSU at Texas A&M, probably the best game of this week. Saturday kickoff, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. We're going with LSU here, plus 3.5 now. The line is actually a plus 1.5. It opened at 3.5. Unfortunately, people have been betting LSU, so the line has now been bought down to 1.5. Why LSU was a big underdog, a 3.5 point underdog? I know at Texas A&M, kind of a tough place to play. But obviously, the public has been betting this line down. It's at minus 156, so a little juice here at plus 3.5. But I'm telling you guys, either put in a teaser or pay the extra money and get the value. Plus 3.5 is the line that you want in this one. I personally think LSU wins the game outright. I just don't think Texas A&M is built to go ahead and take advantage of the weaknesses that LSU does possess, specifically on defense. And give credit to where credit is due, LSU has been significantly better on defense compared to last year's team. If you gave Jaden Daniels this LSU defense, man, what a team they could have been. A&M's a solid team. I don't think they are good enough to go ahead and win by more than this total. I think this is a really close game. It's going to come down to the wire here. I like the original line of plus 3.5. Again, that's probably why a lot of people did. Bought the line down. Now LSU is plus 1.5. I just think there is a chance that A&M could pull it away with a field goal there. And if that's the case, I would like to take LSU at plus 3.5. Again, if you're willing to buy the extra value, go ahead and do that. Buy the extra points. Obviously, it's going to cost more. You're not going to win as much. But I'm telling you guys, plus 3.5 is the line that you want, whether you tease it, whether you buy it like this, whatever the case may be. It's minus 156 on FanDuel at plus 3.5. I wouldn't recommend waiting around because I think as we get closer to kickoff tomorrow, this line will become closer to even. I don't think LSU will be favored at any point, but it's going to be pretty close to even in this one. So go ahead and take LSU plus 3.5 here. That's my pick, my final pick in today's slate. One more time, guys, we are recording late at night, so apologies if the energy got a little low. There's a little slur in the words there. We are recording pretty late at night here to get this video ready for you guys on Friday morning, but we took care of business. We got the job done here, guys. These are all 12 picks in this week's college football slate. Thank you very much, as always, for watching. One more time, guys, please make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. Helps the channel grow, and it really does mean a ton to us. We're on the road to 100,000 subscribers here. We're very close, less than 5,000 away. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button down below. I'm feeling good, guys. I'm feeling really good about this week. A lot of great picks. We're taking some risks here and there, of course, but I do like the slate overall. We've been trending in the right direction. Again, we had 2 really bad weeks that absolutely tanked our record, but I think overall, if you've actually stuck around through the whole college football season so far, we've been doing okay. I would say okay is the way to describe it. We haven't been doing great. We had a couple good weeks here and there, but I think we're due for another really big one here. I like the slate, like the spots we took, so let's go ahead and see how we do. Guys, I'll be back next week with another college football video, but until then, hope you're all winners. Enjoy week 9 of college football. We'll see you then.